What's good, R&B squad? This is Out of Ruth. I trust that this message meets you guys in good spirits. If you're new to this family, we don't believe that you're here by accident. Welcome. We're happy to have you, and Jesus is, of course, always happier. The word that I have today comes from a dream that I had with several different scenes in it, so there are several different messages in here. And as per usual, as you listen, you will know by the details whether or not this word is for you. Please eat the meat, spit out the bone, take what's for you, and leave the rest. And more importantly, please ensure that you are praying as you listen so that you may receive direct confirmation from the Lord as to whether or not the word is for you. Now, as I said, this dream had different scenes and there are different messages in here. And the scenes to me did not seem related, but I know that there are those of you whom this is for, and more than one of these messages may be relatable to you. So I'm going to get right into the first scene in the dream. In the first scene in the dream, I saw a woman on the phone talking to someone. And when I listened to what she was saying to the person with whom she was speaking, she was actually saying bad things about somebody else. She was saying bad things about this other person to this person she was speaking with on the phone. So in essence, gossiping. And as she gossiped about somebody else and said bad things about that person, her curtains opened up. Her blinds near her window, they opened up, and light started coming into her home. And as the light started coming into her home, one thing that I noticed is that her home was very untidy. It was very unsanitary. It was not clean. Untidy is the least of it. That's a polite way of putting it. But anyhow, her blinds opened up and people on the outside who were passing by on the street started seeing inside of her home. And at first she did not notice that her blinds had parted and that people were seeing into her home, because I don't think she wanted anybody to see in there. It was in a really untidy state. But once she noticed that her blinds had parted and that people could see inside, she rushed to the window and tried to pull her blinds shut, but she couldn't. The more she tried to shut them, the more they opened up. And everyone on the street was looking into her home and they saw how filthy her home was. And she dropped the phone because she was so embarrassed. And then I came away from that particular scene in that dream. So for someone, I'm going to go right into the meaning of that. There are people who they've got your name in their mouths. They have your name in their mouths, and they're in essence trying to assassinate your character. They're engaging in character assassination. This woman, she was on the phone gossiping to somebody about somebody else. And I had the sense that whatever she was saying about this person wasn't true. She was doing it to try to make this person look bad to the individual to whom she was speaking. And I also had the sense that the individual to whom she was speaking was someone who spread a lot of rumors around. So she was saying this to this person about this other person in the hope that it would get out in the open and that she could assassinate the character of the person whom she was gossiping about. Okay? So listen, if this is for you, people are talking about you. Maybe one person, maybe more than one person, whoever this person is, they're talking about you. And they're doing it because they want to assassinate your character. They're doing it because they want you to look bad in front of other people. They're doing it because they want to embarrass you. And you know, a funny thing about these people is that you don't have to do anything to them. I'm 100% certain that for those of you whom this is for, these people that are gossiping about you, these people who are saying things about you, these people who are trying to assassinate your character, you have never done anything to them. But they are triggered by the fact that God is blessing you and that you're happy. So this recent state of being triggered that they're in, that caused them to engage in this gossip or is causing them to want to engage in this gossip about you may have stemmed from something that just happened for you. Maybe something good happened for you and they saw it. And because they saw it, that triggered them to now gossip about you in their attempt to regulate their dysregulated emotions and to deal with their envy. They decided to try to assassinate your character. And here's the thing. These people, here's how they find out about things concerning you and trigger themselves. They go looking for it. Because for those of you whom this is for, you don't even talk to these people. You're definitely not bragging about whatever is going on in your life to them because you don't talk to them. But they found out about it because they were snooping. So they go snooping into your private life, into your business, and they find out that good things are happening to you. They may find out that you just received something. They may find out that your relationship just started. They may find out that you reconciled with someone. They may find out that you're about to embark on a new journey of growth. And they found these things out because they were snooping, not because you bragged about it, not because you talked to them about it, because you don't even talk to them, but just because they were snooping. And imagine snooping to see what's going on in your life and then getting triggered to the point where they have to go and badmouth you to other people. So they're trying to regulate their dysregulated emotions by badmouthing you to other people. So listen, the Lord is saying that the embarrassment that they intend for you by assassinating your character, it's going to be their embarrassment instead. So the Lord is looking at them like, okay, since you can't mind your business, since you're so fixated on my child and what I'm doing for my child, I'm going to give you some business to mind, seeing that you don't have any of your own clearly. So the Lord is saying that their intention to ruin your reputation, their intention to assassinate your character, their intention to gossip about you will be met in exchange with their own humiliation. Notice that right when that woman was bad-mouthing that other person to someone on the phone, her blinds opened up and people saw how dirty her house was. See, these people that are gossiping about you, they have some things going on in their lives that they don't want anybody to know about. And it's not clean. It's not clean, okay? And because they have things going on in their lives that they don't want anyone to know about, the last thing they should be doing is gossiping about you. Because if stuff gets out in the open about them, it's going to be embarrassing. And the Lord is saying that because they tried to assassinate your character, they will be engulfed and swallowed up by embarrassment. Okay? They will be engulfed and swallowed up by embarrassment. Do you know what engulfed means? For those of you whom this is for, if something engulfs you, it overwhelms you. So in other words, the Lord is saying that they're going to be overwhelmed with embarrassment by whatever is coming. He's going to turn the tables right when they're gossiping about you, right when they're seeking people out to assassinate your character in front of. That's exactly when He's going to introduce this embarrassment to them. So the things that they don't want people to see, the things they don't want people to find out about, people are going to find out about it. People are going to see it. He's going to pull back the blinds, more or less. And notice when that woman tried to shut those blinds, they wouldn't shut. What is about to come upon them is from God. That's God's judgment. So there's nothing that they're going to be able to do about it. They're not going to be able to shield themselves from the embarrassment. So that's a word for someone. Now I'm going to go into the second scene in the dream. Now in this second scene, I saw this woman and she was looking at another person, and she was looking at this person with a mix of admiration and envy because she wanted the qualities that the person had. And what she did is that she went into this thing that looked like a chamber. And in that chamber, I noticed that she had some stuff that looked like it was associated with idol worship. That's what it looked like. It was like an engraved object and some other little things that you would probably present to a deity of some sort. And she knelt before these things and she started praying to give her the qualities and attributes that this other person that she was admiring and envious of had. Okay? So listen, for those of you whom this is for, there are people, don't ever be ungrateful to God about what you have going for you. Do not ever be ungrateful to God for what you have going for you. And I'll tell you why. There are people out there who wish they had your talent. There are people out there who wish that they had your intelligence. There are people out there who wish they had your favor. There are people out there who wish that they had your spiritual insight. Some of you have the ability to see in the spirit. Some of you have the ability to perceive in the spirit, to hear in the spirit, to discern in the spirit. There are people looking at you who are aware of your gifts, who are aware of the things that God blessed you with. And they desire to have those things. They want your natural intelligence. They want your natural talent. So you didn't have to, there are things that you didn't have to go and learn how to do. You just naturally know how to do them. You naturally have a knack for them. You're naturally talented. You're gifted. Okay? And these individuals, they see what God is doing for you and what he's blessed you with. And they want those things for themselves. But you know what? Instead of going to God and asking God, the true and living God, to show them what their own talents are, to show them what their own gifts are, they're fixated on yours and they're trying to take a shortcut to receive it. So they're going to these entities and these deities thinking that they can pray to these deities and they will receive what you have. Okay. And then the other thing is the Lord pointed out that there are people that he's judging right now, and he has struck them with a state of being physically unwell. And instead of relenting and repenting and asking him for healing, they are praying to these entities for healing. And the Lord is saying that they will never get any of the things that they are praying to these entities for, because only the true and living God can give people with talent. Only he can gift people with intelligence. Okay. Only he can gift you with the ability to see and understand spiritually. And only he can heal you. And these people are going through every avenue except directly to the true and living God. And you know why they won't go to God directly? Because they're afraid that when they go to God, he's going to tell them no. Because if you go to Almighty God and you try to tell him, I saw so-and-so with this talent and this ability, or I saw that so-and-so, he has this going for him, or she has that going for her. So-and-so has like spiritual gifts. And I want those things for myself. The first thing that God is going to ask you is, why do you want it? Do you want it because you want it for real, so that you can use it for the greater good of my kingdom, for the greater good of the body of Christ? Or do you want those things because that person has it? Why do you want it? And these are the questions they're afraid of. They're afraid that God isn't going to give them what they want. They're afraid of his correction. They're afraid of his pruning. So because they don't like the idea of being pruned, they don't like the idea of being corrected, they don't like the idea of their intentions and their heart being examined, they try to get around God and go through other avenues to receive blessings. The only person that can bless you is God. And even if it looks like Satan is blessing you, it comes with attachments. If the enemy looks like he's blessing you with something, if it looks like he's giving something to you, trust and believe you need to read the fine print. Read the fine print. It comes with terms and conditions. And those terms and conditions are usually more than you are prepared to give. Okay? There is no way to receive real healing and to receive real gifts and real blessings but through the true and living God. And he's not just going to hand it to you. He's going to examine your heart to see why you want it. Okay, so that's one word. Now, this one in particular is the one that you guys are seeing the thumbnail pertaining to. Okay, so listen very carefully to this. In this scene, there was a woman. She was seated in a room with another woman, and I overheard their conversation. And the first woman was saying to the second woman that she was planning on moving. She was planning on moving from her current home and her current location to a new location. And she said she was doing this out of obedience because doing so would bring her closer to her husband. It would bring her closer to her God-ordained husband. Okay? Now, let me make this clear. The woman in the dream was not married yet, But apparently God had shown her who her God-ordained husband was, or he had spoken to her and told her that she was about to get married. And this move that she was making from her current location to another location, that move was connected to her getting married. That move was connected to her coming into union with her God-ordained partner. And she was saying this to the second woman. And when she said it to the second woman immediately started trying to talk her out of it. The second woman was like, well, why are you moving? You don't need to move. You're comfortable right here. You need to stay here. And look how much space you have here in this place. All you have to do is knock that wall down. And she pointed to a wall not too far from where they were sitting. All you have to do is knock that wall down and you'll have more space. You'll have more room to move around. Why do you need to move? How are you so sure that when you move, this guy is your things are gonna work out with this guy? That's the kind of thing that she was saying to the first woman. And I saw that the first woman was at first considering what she was saying, but then she insisted that she was going to move. And the dog is barking. If you guys can't hear me, please turn on the closed captioning. He's going to be quiet in a moment. So listen, then I came away from what I was seeing in that scene in that dream. So for someone, there is someone or more than one someone around you who does not want you to make a move. This may be a move pertaining to your God-ordained union, to your marriage promise, or this may be a move pertaining to something else that the Lord said he's going to give to you. Whatever it is, whether this is your marriage promise or this is another promise, whatever it is, this move is connected to it. And you will know that this word is for you because you have had this on your heart. This is something that God has put on your heart. You know you need to move. Okay? For some of you, it's a physical move. And for others of you, it's not a physical move. But you do have to make certain moves in order for the Lord to bring this promise to pass in your life. And you know this. So some of you have to move physically. It's a physical move. And for others of you, it's not a physical move. It's just changes generally that you have to make, movements that you have to make. And those movements are tied to your God-ordained marriage, to your marriage promise, or to another promise, if this is not a marriage word for you. Okay? Now, be very careful of whom you tell your plans to. Be very careful of whom you tell your plans to, because there are some people who do not want you to make any moves. Okay? They know just as well as you do that when you make the move, that the blessing that is coming is connected to the move. They know that the blessing that is coming is connected to the move. And because they know this, they will try to talk you out of it. And there was a little plot twist in that dream. See, here's the thing. The woman who was trying to talk the first woman out of moving so that she could be closer to her God-ordained husband, the woman who was trying to talk her out of it and telling her to knock the wall down in her place so that she would have more room, it turned out that that woman had been sent to her by somebody else. Okay? So this woman's God-ordained partner had an ex. And it was the ex who had sent this woman to try to talk her out of moving. Okay? And I found it very interesting that the Lord highlighted that to me. Because some of you need to be careful of people who come and feign concern. They might be coming on behalf of somebody else. Okay? They might be coming on behalf of somebody else. They will come and try to make it look like they're looking out for your best interest. But somebody may have sent them. When they come trying to give you advice, ask them who sent them. Ask them who sent them. Better yet, ask God who sent them. And listen, stop telling people y'all's plans. Stop doing that. If God did not give you permission to tell your plans to someone, do not tell anybody your plans. I don't know why that woman was telling the second woman that she was going to move and that it was pertaining to her marriage promise. Why would you tell that to anyone? Do not tell anyone when you're about to make a move. Okay? Because if they don't know about it, they can't attack it. Do you understand? If they do not know about it, they cannot attack it. And here's the thing. Whoever does not want you to move Whoever does not want you to make this move, they're doing it because they don't want you to come into this promise that God promised you. Whether that's your marriage promise or it's a promise for something else, they don't want you to receive that promise. They don't want you to step into it. And they know that if you move, you will. They know that God is ordering your steps. Okay, this person may have observed you over a period of time, and they may know that every time you follow God's instructions, you end up in a better place than you were before. You end up closer to where God wants you to be. They know you're obedient to God. And so they know that if God is telling you to make this move, that there's something good attached to the move, and they don't want you to receive that something good. They do not want you to receive it. So they will try to talk you out of it. They will try to do things to block you. And then the Lord pointed out how the woman also told her, the second woman told the first woman, all you need to do is knock that wall down here in your place and you'll have more room. Now, a wall represents privacy and protection and a boundary. Let me say that again. A wall represents privacy, protection, and a boundary. This person or these persons wants you to remove your boundaries, the boundaries that God had you set between you and them, because they can't stay out of your life and out of your business. They want you to move those boundaries so they can interfere. They want you to not have the protection of the Lord. She was telling that woman to knock that wall down so she could have more space. They want you to come out of the protection of the Lord. They want you to disobey God so that you can come out of his protection, so that then they can attack you because they know you're protected by God. They've tried to attack you and it didn't work. So they know that you're underneath God's protection. They're trying to get you to willingly come out of God's good graces. They're trying to willingly make you come away from God's protection so that they can attack you. Let me tell you something. Make that move. Make that move. If the Lord is telling you to make a move, whether it's a physical move or a move in a figurative sense, make that move. The blessing, whatever the blessing is that he promised you, is connected to that move. Okay? And again, for some of you, it's a physical move. You actually need to move from where you are to another place, or it's something that you need to do in a figurative sense. There are moves that you need to make that God told you to make. And that is what is going to help you walk into the fullness of your promise. Okay? And that's the word, guys. I hope that this message reached the right ears. I hope it blessed someone. I love you guys. I will be back with another word as soon as the Lord releases me. Take care.